My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Whiz. I flew the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, known as Top Gun. I did 2 deployments to the Persian Gulf in support of Operation Southern Watch off of the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Kitty Hawk. And I currently run the No Fallen Heroes Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to saving and changing the lives of our veterans and their families after service. Secretary of War Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane gave a great SITREP or situation report this morning, and they said that things are going pretty well. We own the airspace. We've moved from essentially air superiority to air dominance. There is really no surface to air missile threat. So our fighter aircraft, our bombers, even our tankers are operating uncontested over Iranian airspace. So air dominance is better than air superiority. We own the air, we own the sea. The Iranian Navy doesn't exist anymore. It's essentially on the bottom of the Persian Gulf, and we also own the subsurface, as we saw last week with the USS Charlotte sinking an Iranian warship. So we own the battle space. Never want to underestimate our enemy, and they still have a lot of fight left in them, and you have to respect them for that. So we're never going to say this thing's over with before it's truly over with. Well, it appears our allies, the French, the British, especially the British, have now acquiesced and have agreed to allow bombers, whether it's in Diego Garcia or over in Great Britain itself. We've seen some bomber traffic landing in the UK, heading towards the region. This significantly boosts our presence in the Middle East. Initially, the bombers that were used were the B-2 bomber, mainly because of stealth, and also because that's the only aircraft in our inventory that can carry we call it the Moab, the mother of all bombs, a serious massive ordnance penetrator that can reach down deep into mountains and take out underground systems, whether that's where their nukes were or missile storage facilities. Then we saw the B-1 bombers start getting used, and now here comes our 70-year-old bombers. The B-52 bomber started flying, I believe, in 1952 and got operational deployed in 1955. So the bomber crews flying the B-52s today weren't even alive when this aircraft started flying. And that's a true testament to the Air Force, the young men and women in the United States Air Force that keep those bombers flying. It's just absolutely incredible to see the B-52 still being used in combat today. So a high-level brief of the B-52 bomber. Been flying since the 50s. The B-52 is both a high and low level strategic bomber, meaning this thing can carry a lot of ordnance. It's huge. It's the size, essentially the size of a football field. It's got 8 engines, can fly at very high altitude or down, mapping the earth, trying to fly underneath enemy radar systems. Depending on how it's outfitted, it can be a crew of anywhere from 6 to 8. Couple pilots, navigators, weapons systems officers, some crew chiefs. So it's got a full complement of crew on board there. They have ejection seats, they have parachutes. These are fully combat capable bomber crews. So we're going to hit first with stealth. We're going to soften up the enemy with the B-2 bombers, and then the B-1 bombers got engaged. And now that we have air domination, the B-52s can go in with massive amounts of ordnance and just take out precision targets at this point. So you can see as this fight progressed, we went from modern bombers to more or less old bombers that are still flying. Well, the B-52 can carry a massive amount of ordnance, and it can carry a wide variety of ordnance. So I'm not going to dig too much into the operational details of some of the bomber specifics of our bomber fleet, but it can carry a mix of weapons, while some of the other bombers might not be able to. So the B-52 can have half a load of bombs doing certain things and another half doing a completely different mission as well. We can have dumb bombs on board, and we can also have smart bombs, for lack of a better word. So it's definitely a multi-role platform when it comes to the ordnance that it can deliver. The B-52 lands with a parachute just to reduce wear and tear on the brakes. It's a big aircraft, a lot of weight. And they use long runways, but those brakes aren't inexpensive. So sometimes you'll see some big bombers or even some fighter jets in the former Soviet Union bloc deploy a parachute upon landing to help reduce time spent on the brakes. So the B-52 can attack any target. It can attack troops in the open. It can attack armor. It can attack missile silos. It can attack ships at this point. So the B-52 really is a multi-role bomber. Whatever the target is, there's a high probability that the B-52 can carry that ordnance that is required to take that threat out. So whether it be from a submarine to a surface ship to any sorts of armor or troop emplacements or bunkers, the B-52 can carry that weapon to take it out. So it's really a multi-role bomber. Whatever the commanders on the field see as a target, I guarantee you the B-52 crews can load a weapon to negate that threat. At this point, employing B-52s is more of a kind of a thumb or a finger in the chest of the Iranians. Like, we used our stealth bombers initially because you couldn't see them. They took out your air defenses. They took out your surface air missiles. Now we're flying our oldest bombers over your airspace, and you can't do anything about it. So it's a little bit of a poke in the chest to the Iranians. I've seen some in the media say, oh, we're using our B-52s now. Yeah, that makes sense. We're not using our B-52s first because they can't evade radar. They were built in the 50s. So the fact that we're starting to bring up the C team, so to speak, out of the dugout tells you where we are in this conflict.